This made me really sad to see this morning. I am a big Patrick Stewart fan, of course. Honestly, if he just shows up in something, I'm bound to watch it. I am that loyal to him after Star Trek The Next Generation. As you know, I'm a big Star Trek fan over here. And there's a new report that's out that he's going to be retiring after Avengers Doomsday. Now, this is just kind of like tragic, but what can you do? He's 85. And, if you look at his recent performances, he can't really do a lot anymore, and you could tell. And it's kind of nicer to maybe just have him go out before it gets worse, I guess, because I remember just looking at some older actors' careers back in the day. It used to be like these great actors who were huge would end up in like TV movies, barely able to even talk. Back in the 70s and 80s, I remember Katharine Hepburn, the great actress from the 40s and 50s. Like she ended up in the cringiest of TV movies because that's like, and she was just like shaking. It was sad to watch her in those final films. And this is honestly going to be sad. I don't think Avengers Doomsday is going to do honor to his legacy whatsoever. I think it's going to be a train wreck of a multiversal, nonsensical MCU movie that's, he's going to look a little too old as Professor X there as well. That's going to cause problems. And, this harkens me back to Picard, and it's like, should they have even made Picard? And the answer is pretty much no, honestly, if we go back to it. Let's get into this news. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in pop culture here. I am a Star Trek fan, as I mentioned, and I'm a science fiction writer. If you like my thoughts on the culture and you want to support my channel, I have a trilogy out that is on Fund My Comic right now. It's not a comic, it's novels. So if you're novel readers, this is for you. And it is beautiful stuff. If you like what Star Trek The Next Generation was back in the day with the space exploration, the sense of wonder, the sense of heroism out there, I'm bringing it back because I really think we missed that in our culture big times. And so I've developed my own universe, my own crew that's wonderful, which has Captain Christopher Conley as the strong male lead, which everybody's been asking for a lot these days. Just grab it. I know it's a tough time in the economy and all that, but $15 is $5 an ebook. That's what you generally get on Amazon anyway. And this is a full trilogy. I developed 3 books and spent the entire last year without doing a crowdfund or anything like that because I wanted to make sure I had enough to like really get you invested in the characters. And I think 3 books helps to do that. So grab this today, support our channel, support our artistic efforts. And I appreciate you guys supporting real science fiction. Good stuff. And yes, we have premium quality edition stuffs too, which I think is definitely worth checking out if you are interested in something cool. Thanks. All right, so Patrick Stewart reportedly retiring after Avengers Doomsday. Patrick Stewart's storied acting career may be coming to a close. According to reports discussed on the Christian Harloff show on November 3rd, the 85-year-old actor will be done with acting and stepping down after completing work on Avengers Doomsday, scheduled to release December 18th, 2026. The rumor, while unconfirmed by Stewart or his representatives, carries weight given his age and recent career trajectory. If true, it marks the end of a most respected acting careers, spanning 7 decades across stage, television, and film. If you don't know the background of him, he built his reputation at the Royal Shakespeare Academy. They really did. Back in the day, the actors who did Star Trek were just top notch. I mean, between him and Avery Brooks and Brent Spiner, they really were just top acting quality. It was really cool. His classical training earned him an Olivier Award and established him as one of Britain's finest stage actors. His Shakespearean work, particularly his portrayals of Macbeth, Prospero, and King Lear, demonstrated a range and depth that made him a theatrical institution. Television brought Stewart to a global audiences as Jean-Luc Picard, as we know. 7 years on that beautiful mission right there. The role transformed him from a respected stage actor to an international icon, with Picard becoming one of the science fiction's most beloved characters. Stewart's dignified intellectual approach to the starship captain created a template for leadership that resonated across generations. His film career took off with the X-Men franchise, where he played Professor Charles Xavier in the original film trilogy, the best comic movies ever made. That and that Spider-Man trilogy, still way better than anything the MCU ever did. By far. Stewart brought gravitas and, don't at me on that, emotional weight to the telepathic mutant leader, grounding his superhero films with performances that elevated material beyond a typical comic book fare. After Disney's acquisition of Fox, Stewart joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a brief appearance in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now he's set to reprise Professor X in Avengers Doomsday, returning to a role he first played 25 years ago. The film will feature Stewart alongside Ian McKellen's Magneto as a part of a massive ensemble, including Avengers, Wakandans, Fantastic Four, etc. Now, this is interesting. I actually saw there was a stage play in the 2010s that Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart did, and they did a brief tour of it, and I got to see them live in person, and there is something different. If you've never been to like stage productions or anything like that before, just really high quality ones, they were crazy. It was a strange existential play that I was like, this is odd, but their acting abilities, like, and their charisma, their gravitas from the stage, you could tell why they are just different and set apart from other actors for real. So I highly recommend going to stage plays if you've not already, but wow, that was an experience I will remember forever. Anyway, for Stewart, the role represents a full circle movement, and ending his career by revisiting a character that defined his film work for decades is a fitting bookend, the one tinged with sadness, I think. His recent projects, I think age has become a factor in his performances. If you look at Star Trek Picard, which ran from 2020 to 2023, bringing the character back for a final adventure. The series received a mixed reception, obviously, from season 1, 54% audience. Season 2, everybody hated more than anything. It's just so sad. You have like 3 seasons to get TNG member berries back, and you waste it with that. It's so painful that they did this. And also what they did with Picard's past, and that it frankly insulted and nearly ruined the character. And it's painful. It's hard to get this out of the that taste out of your mouth. Season 3 recovered to an 82%. I think people were so forgiving of Season 3 just because the TNG cast showed up, and it didn't lean into the lesbians in space like the first 2 seasons did as much. But at the same time, Season 3 was really not that good. I got to tell you guys, as a science fiction writer, go back and rewatch it, like, and just try to like extract the like, oh, I'm seeing them for the last time out of it, which is what it was billed as at the time. That's what everybody got excited about. The writing really was not good on it. It did not hold a candle to the Next Generation whatsoever. It really didn't. It was, it was watchable, and that's the bar these days. That's what Kurtzman Trek is. And honestly, again, he couldn't do the action roles in this. He looked like an invalid kind of hobbling around while these lesbian women rescued him for the first couple of seasons, right? And it was sad to watch that be Picard. If anything, they should have done something, and this is the whole problem with like modern storytelling. The Next Generation was not like the super like it wasn't James T. Kirk going down and ripping his shirt and getting punched and then punching back and that was not it. It was like Picard was like a cerebral character who's sitting there like sipping tea and talking about like archaeology and ancient literature and stuff. That's what they needed to do with Picard, and it was a wrong tone for the entire series. It really was. It's sad about that. The show struggled stemmed because of his age, partly because it was action-heavy storylines, which were less believable. At 80 during the filming of the first season, Stewart couldn't convincingly portray the physical demands the script required. So while his acting remained strong, the material didn't serve him well. The show's convoluted plots, attempts to make an octogenarian Picard into an action hero felt forced. The season 3 improved reception came from leaning into nostalgia, like I said already. And this is exactly what they're doing again with Avengers Doomsday. Now, he's probably just going to have a cameo or just a couple minutes in this. I don't think he's going to like really lead anything or be a big part of it or be a big part of any action in it. So it is going to be a different thing on this level. But it is going to be the same thing where it's a member berries convoluted script that is ultimately not going to service the character, not going to service his legacy, and not going to service the fans. And that is what all of these modern writers do at this point. And I know it's coming. I know exactly what it is because it's not like they're replacing the writers and doing anything different. They are just doing the same thing over and over again. The reported retirement makes sense because at 85, he has nothing left to prove. He's achieved success across every medium, earned critical acclaim and popular adoration, created characters that will endure long after he's gone. Avengers Doomsday offers a high-profile excerpt that honors his contributions to the superhero genre, so we hope it'll turn out okay. This is the end of an era, though, and this is really it. I mean, what's interesting is the Next Generation cast is pretty old. Like the original series cast was not that much older than them. If you look at William Shatner, he's like 97. He's only 12 years older than Picard. And that series took place 20 years afterwards. So they really did not have a super longevity in mind with the Next Generation, really. And all of those guys are getting up there. I went to the Star Trek Las Vegas convention this year, and Jonathan Frakes is looking pretty old. I mean, it's happening, and it's very, very sad because we're losing a lot of really the best era of science fiction television, and it wasn't replaced. It was nothing stepped up after that. Really, everything was so dark and action-packed and heavy. There's really not a lot of good conceptual science fiction anymore. And I'm going to see Predator Badlands this weekend. Speaking of a lack of that, I'll be reviewing it on the channel. Oh gosh, pray for me, my guys. What do you think about this? Leave your comments about Patrick Stewart and your thoughts on him down below. Really appreciate you guys being here. Check out Valiant Frontiers if you like my thoughts on Star Trek. If you like my thoughts on science fiction, this is a great place to be. Really appreciate everybody who's supporting and reading. This is where it's at. We'll be back soon.